Julie Chrisley reveals that she hung up on Savannah Chrisley when she was told that she was being pardoned. Grayson, Savannah, Todd, and Julie recently did an interview with Donald Trump's daughter-in-law. During this, Julie and Todd revealed their first feelings and responses when they heard they were getting pardoned. There is a lot to unfold and uncover when it comes to this. Keep reading to find out more about this situation. Chrisleys get pardoned by Donald Trump. Todd and Julie were in federal prison for tax evasion and fraud, as most know. However, they were pardoned and allowed to go home and have their records be clean. Todd and Julie had not seen each other in 2.5 years. So when they arrived at home, this was the first time they had seen each other in that time frame. They also got to be with their children again, which was the most important thing to them. Since their release, they have been trying to make up for lost time. Fans love seeing how they are living their lives now that they have changed drastically. Julie Chrisley reveals she hung up on Savannah. Julie Chrisley has revealed that when Savannah Chrisley called to tell her she was pardoned, she hung up on her. When she first got the call, she just burst into tears. However, Savannah was quick to add that Julie hung up on her. Julie then confirmed what Savannah had said and let everyone know that she was so nervous she did not know what to do and ended up hanging up the phone. Fans thought this was funny as the family was laughing it off. Todd also revealed that he did not believe it until an officer came to confirm it for him. It seems as though Julie was so nervous that she accidentally hung up on Savannah when she called to tell her. Usually, people get bad news while in prison. However, Todd and Julie got some of the best news possible. Todd was in disbelief when he was told. He did not believe it until an officer came to confirm it. Fans are glad that the Chrisleys are back home with their friends and family. What do you think about this situation? Are you shocked that Julie hung up on Savannah? Sound off in the comments below. We would love to hear your thoughts on this situation. In a revelation that left fans stunned and speechless, Julie Chrisley has broken her silence on the exact moment she found out she was granted a surprise pardon, revealing that in her state of complete shock, she hung up on her daughter, Savannah, mid-call. "Yes, I really did," Julie admitted in a candid sit-down interview, her voice trembling with a blend of laughter and tears. "She called to tell me I was pardoned, and I just hung up the phone. Not out of rudeness. My hands were shaking. I couldn't breathe. I needed a minute to remember who I was." The emotional moment came just weeks after the Chrisley family launched an aggressive legal and media campaign to request clemency for both Julie and Todd, who were each serving time in separate federal facilities for bank and tax fraud. But no one, including Julie, expected the pardon to actually happen. The call that changed everything. It was an ordinary Tuesday morning at the Federal Medical Center in Lexington, Kentucky. Julie was in the laundry unit folding uniforms when a guard approached her with a rare smile and told her she had a phone call from her daughter, Savannah. "That was already strange," Julie explained. "Usually, I had to request calls. The fact that it was being brought to me, something felt off." When she picked up the phone and heard Savannah's frantic voice, Julie immediately assumed something had gone wrong with Todd or one of the kids. Savannah was crying and screaming at the same time, Julie recalled. She kept saying, "Mom, Mom, you're out. You're out." And I was like, "Out of what?" Then Savannah said the words Julie couldn't believe. "You've been pardoned. You're coming home." Panic before peace. Rather than jumping for joy or screaming in celebration, Julie did something that shocked everyone around her. She froze. Then, in a move that has become both a family joke and an unforgettable moment of emotional overload, she hung up the phone. "I didn't mean to," she said. "It was like my entire nervous system just went haywire. My fingers couldn't hold the phone. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. I felt dizzy, like I was floating outside my body." A fellow inmate in the room at the time, who asked not to be named, described the moment as like watching someone get struck by lightning emotionally. She turned white as a sheet. Then she just walked away from the phone and sat down on the floor. Julie admits now that in that moment, it wasn't joy she felt, it was disbelief and fear. I'd gotten so used to not hoping. Every court appeal, every letter from our lawyers, it always ended in disappointment. So hearing that I was pardoned, my brain couldn't compute it. I thought, this can't be real. This must be a mistake. Reconnecting with Savannah. It took several minutes and a second call from Savannah for the reality to sink in. Julie picked up the second call with tears already streaming down her face. I told her, "I'm so sorry I hung up on you." And she just laughed through the sobs and said, "Mom, it's okay. You're coming home. That's all that matters." Savannah later shared the moment on her podcast, Unlocked, explaining how surreal it was to finally deliver good news to a parent who had endured over a year of silence, illness, and prison life. "She didn't believe me at first," Savannah said. "She kept saying, 'Are you sure? Are you sure?' And I kept saying, 'Yes, Mama, it's real. You're coming home to me.'" A long-awaited homecoming. 2 days later, Julie walked out of prison with little fanfare but overwhelming emotion. Wearing a gray sweatshirt and the same pair of shoes she entered with, she stepped into a black SUV waiting just outside the gates, Savannah behind the wheel. The reunion was emotional, but private. No cameras, no reality TV crews. Just mother and daughter, holding hands across the center console. "I didn't want this moment to be for the world," Julie said. "I wanted it to be ours." She describes the ride home as quiet but sacred. Savannah played a playlist of old country songs they used to listen to together, and neither spoke for the first 20 minutes. There were no words, just tears and gratitude. How she feels now, despite the pardon and her physical freedom, Julie admits that her time in prison and the health scares she endured there have left emotional scars. "Coming home doesn't erase what happened," she said. "I'm still working through the trauma. I still wake up some nights thinking I'm back in that cell." But she's also trying to focus on healing and gratitude. "I wake up, and I hear Savannah making coffee. I see the sun rise through real windows. I get to pet my dog. Those are the little miracles I don't take for granted anymore." Julie has reconnected with her grandchildren, started therapy, and is considering writing a memoir titled The Call That Set Me Free. And yes, she and Savannah now joke about the infamous hang-up moment. She says, "Mom, I'll never let you live that down. I gave you the best news of your life, and you dropped the call like a bad Tinder date." Julie laughed. Moving forward. As for what comes next, Julie says she's in no rush to jump back into the public eye. Reality TV might be in the rearview mirror for now. "I want to live first. Just live, garden, cook, watch sunsets, be present with the people who never gave up on me." But one thing's clear, the bond between Julie and Savannah has never been stronger. "That phone call changed everything," Julie said. "Not just because I was freed, but because I knew, in that moment, that my daughter had fought like hell to bring me home. And even if I hung up on her, she never hung up on me." And with that, Julie Chrisley's unexpected homecoming has become one of the most powerful comeback stories of the year, a tale not of perfection, but of resilience, redemption, and real, raw love.